rolling in the I get that and I get that and I'm rolling in the
Hello and welcome to Sharp Bets and Fantasy Sets. I am your main host, Nick Fiorentino, and alongside me are my two subordinate co-hosts. The first one is big-time Tim Secor with the backwards hat. Tim, what's going on?
What's up, Mickey? How we doing, guys? Thanks to all of our fans here on Twitch. It's a new thing we're doing. Hopefully everyone says hi when they go into chat. I can enter you into the $25 giveaway that we're going to do at the end of our show. It'll be real quick. The screen, if you're on Twitch, looks like this. I'll be updating it as people come in and say hi in the chat. You can see we have 4 people already in. As more people come in, we'll be adjusting it and moving forward from there.
Yep, and I guess, Tim, you'll MC, so any questions or anything anybody pops in, you'll just kind of throw them in there as the show goes on?
I'll try to hit you guys in between the games that we pick, or if there's something, I'll just hit you with one of these. Hold on, sir, and go from there.
And, of course, my other co-host, Chris Shaw. Chris, how are we doing, brother?
Not too bad, brother. Not too bad, man.
And our returning guest for the final time this football season, we have Mr. TruExact himself, Scott. Scott, how we doing?
I'm good, man. I did a show last night, so I'm back-to-back nights. I'm a little tired. Stuff gets kind of exhausting, but football's over almost, so I'm sad.
I think this weekend is like my favorite weekend of the year for football. I know some people like divisional round, but I love the 2 championship games. It's just the best. And these games, like all 4 teams are beasts.
Yeah, no matter the matchup, we're gonna have a good Super Bowl this year, I think.
Yeah, I think so.
There's only one thing I could see that's going to put a huge wrench into what you just said, and that's a little headache that some quarterback might have.
We'll see. Guys, we'll run through the intros real fast, so you can find us on Twitter and Instagram at SBFS Show. Our show is going to replay on YouTube tomorrow under the TruExact channel on YouTube, if I didn't say that. And then we will be on iTunes on Thursday. For now, we're going to try the Twitch thing, though. Live shows every Tuesday between 7 and 8 o'clock. We'll figure it out. We all work 9 to 5, so it's kind of balancing that and doing this. So we'll figure it out, but we'll be coming to you live for the foreseeable future on Tuesdays. Scott, what do you have on Friday for your show?
We actually interviewed The Truth. He's a rapper from Staten Island. He was pretty big back in like 2011, took some time off, and he came back after like raising a family and whatnot, and he won a couple of contests, Hot 97 and stuff. So we met him at a show probably in October. Really fun dude. Our Gun to Your Head segment was hilarious. I won it, but that's all.
Nice.
Spoiler alert.
And on Mark's Side of the Ring, the show that nobody advertises, we will be talking about professional wrestling. We'll be talking about WrestleMania going to 2 nights. We'll be talking about them announcing the next 3 WrestleManias. So we'll be diving into a bunch of different stuff. So if you're a wrestling fan, actually, to one shameless plug, if you're a wrestling fan, check out the show that Tim, myself, Moravik, Miguel, and Fred did, where we kind of do a Royal Rumble draft. That was a lot of fun to do. We kind of all picked our favorites. So Tim had the first pick, and he picked Ric Flair, 1992.
The best Rumble that there ever was, Nick. What can I say?
Hey, look, I gotta go grab a drink right now for that, apparently.
The genesis of our drinking games. Yep.
Start drinking now. Be fair to Flair.
Woo!
So let's go through. I didn't make many bets, so I was 0 for 2 in the 2 very small bets that I made, but I didn't really bet a lot this weekend. I had work. I had a bunch of different things going on. I'm not going to bet if I don't do enough research to kind of make the bets. So I didn't really do anything. But, sir, we'll start with you. How did the divisional round treat you?
As yourself, I was kind of light on the betting thing. I did a couple player parlays, which Cam Akers not getting receiving yards kind of hurt me a little bit. So I took a little bit of a hit on Saturday, and I kind of left it alone Sunday. Just kind of just laid back and enjoyed the games, which I should have bet him because I went 3-1. Brady kind of cost me to go to that one, but the games kind of went as I predicted, so I should have bet him, but that's life, you know what I'm saying? It is what it is.
I would have loved to have seen what the parlay was on anytime touchdowns for Rodgers, for Brady, and who was the other quarterback that scored over the weekend? And Mahomes. I know Aaron Rodgers just himself at any time was plus 480, and I only know that because I talked to Kyle out of betting it in his parlay.
Nice.
Luckily, he didn't hit some of the other games, so it wouldn't have mattered. But yeah. So, Tim, how did you do in your week of betting?
I'll tell you what. For as many suggestions that I gave the viewers that I got right, I didn't do too good. It was an up and down week. It seemed like every other game I hit out of the park. So Devontae Adams has scored, Tonyan over reception yards hit. Then I missed everything completely in the Baltimore Bills game that went a little bit different than I thought it was going to. Although I knew Baltimore was going to shit the bed, I didn't think they were going to shit the bed that bad. And the Bills didn't look that great either, but it is what it is. Then I had Kelsey scoring a touchdown, which he did. I had Hunt as my special boost for anytime touchdown. So those are a couple of bets that I did hit. Kamara to score a touchdown didn't happen, but he hit over his 100 yards of rushing and receiving. That was kind of my week. It was up and down. It wasn't as good as it should have been if I would have just bet the 4 games that I told you guys last week on the podcast, which I went 4-0. But shout out to Loebman, who last Saturday we did a impromptu Twitch stream again, and we gave away a $25 free bet. He put in a anytime touchdown 3-person parlay, so he hit the first 2 legs of Devontae Adams and Travis Kelce, and all he needed was Gronk to catch one of his 3 red zone targets, and that would have paid him $245. But instead, it was a big old $25 loss. But it is what it is, and that's why we gamble. It was sure exciting rooting along with him for sure.
I'll say this. I listen to a lot of sports betting podcasts, a lot of fantasy, still DFS podcasts and things like that. I would say overall, the divisional round was not a great round for really anybody. Unless you had a good week, then shout us out. Let us know how you did. But overall, not a great week for sports betting, and that's why it's betting. Sometimes you win, sometimes you lose. So, Scott, I know you probably didn't bet this weekend, so we'll kick it to you on the first topic of the day. And forgive me if I'm wrong if you didn't, or if you did, let us know. But Drew Brees,
Right.
most overrated quarterback. Let's talk about that.
Well, first of all, I did put money on Anthony Sherman to score a touchdown, and there was a point in the first quarter, they literally were at the goal line, and I was like, oh my God, it's going to happen, and then Mahomes snuck it in. Other than that, through another thing, I did put a parlay in the Packers, Bucks, and Bills. It was about 50, and it ended up paying out about 2, so that's about it, but it ended up kind of breaking me even with, you know how it goes, roller coaster and whatnot. So,
Yep.
Drew Brees, right. Okay. Now, this isn't me being the macaroni-haired Skip Bayless, that douche. This is legit, like, thoughts. Like, this is my honest opinion, and I want to give dude his flowers first because I like doing that. I think he's one of the best quarterbacks we've seen in the past 15 years. First ballot Hall of Famer, right? Like, you guys can agree with this. There's nothing I'm saying wrong here. But I think that he has lost a lot of big games. Not all his fault. I don't base quarterbacks on Super Bowls. I don't base them on playoff victories. I think that's bullshit. I think because then you're putting Flacco and Mark Sanchez above guys like Matt Stafford, who it's not, like, in my opinion, not even close. So
Trent Dilfer.
Right. And, like, a guy like – then you're putting Eli Manning over Aaron Rodgers because the rings are 2-1. It's just stupid. It's just a lazy argument, you know. It really is. And And that's really all Giant fans hang their hat on, by the way, which is really annoying. But, all right, so Breeze, I think he's very lucky he won early in his career because a lot of his teams, when he didn't have a defense, 7-9, 7-9, 8-8, 8-8, and I feel like a lot of the elite quarterbacks, they cover those flaws. And I don't think Drew Brees has ever necessarily been the reason his teams have gotten there. Like, and I'm not, once again, one of the best we've ever seen, but I think he's a product, a bit of Sean Payton, who has a great record without Drew Brees. That's proven. And I think that what great quarterback, the great quarterback, do you say, let's just get him outside of that dome? If you're really like a stratosphere of Aaron Rodgers or somebody, it doesn't matter where you play him. But to me, like when you say something like get him, when you get him outside that dome, oh, we could beat him. To me, that's like not. I don't think he's ever been in that stratosphere of a Rodgers and I know the argument Peyton Manning with the Colts, but Manning also ran into the same New England team every time. It's not like he went and lost to like fucking I don't know at like Cincinnati or something. He wouldn't lose games like that. And I think how much worse were the Chargers in the 13 years when he left. I mean, like they were good. You know, Rivers took the torch and he got to the AFC Championship. He got to divisional rounds. And I think the touchdowns and stats, I go by eye test. Great quarterback, first ballot Hall of Famer. But I do think he was a bit overrated, and he's had some bad losses, really bad losses. And he should have been the 3 Super Bowls, let's be honest. The Minneapolis Miracle, you could argue they would have beat the Eagles after that because that – probably not because it was in Philly, right? So, all right, he should have been the 2, that pass interference. They definitely should have been the 2. So he could have been 2-0 in Super Bowls. That wouldn't change my opinion. Terry Bradshaw's 4-0 in Super Bowls. You know, so it's the team sport, and I don't think he was ever, like, as great as everybody said. That's just me. Go on. Tear me a new ass.
I don't know if I necessarily would disagree. I kind of agree and disagree. I mean, so I wrote down some stuff. So we all know 80,000, yards,
right?
571 touchdowns. I heard on the radio driving in, somebody kind of compared him, they basically outright called him the Frank Gore of quarterbacks. Just a stat compiler is basically what they meant. I don't necessarily know if
hold on. I ain't gonna let you slip that one in, old boy. You put some respect on Frank Gore's name, first of all, goddamn.
I mean, he's an actual stat compiler.
Yeah, Jack Great, Frank Gore, right?
I wouldn't consider him that, Nick. I wouldn't consider him a stat. I don't.
But to your point, he's not a big game player. He's won 1 Super Bowl, and I think you can make a legitimate argument. And listen, every Super Bowl you can go back to 1 play or 2 plays and say if that doesn't happen, they don't win. I mean, if Asante Samuel catches the interception from Eli, Patriots go undefeated. If Wes Welker catches that pass, they beat him that second time. If the Eagles don't convert on even one of those 4th down conversions, they probably don't win the Super Bowl. There's so many. But if they don't recover that onside kick, I really don't think they win the Super Bowl. So I give more credit to Sean Payton in that Super Bowl than I would to Drew Brees. And obviously he's legendary in that area, especially, after Katrina and everything that they've done, everything that he's done. He's a legend. He's a Hall of Famer. Nobody's arguing that. But if I'm saying, like, gun to your head, you got to win this football team, you got to pick the quarterback, I mean, I think I could pick maybe close to 10 quarterbacks.
Especially if it's in Lambeau Field or something, right? Especially if it's outdoors, you're probably taking 12 more. I mean, I know people get mad at bringing him up, but let's be honest. There was a year where Romo went 8-0 on the road. That doesn't. Drew Brees doesn't do that. He doesn't do that. I'm sorry, and so I don't see it, man.
Hold on. All right, so big game.
Sure, what do you got?
Drew Brees or Tony Romo?
Where's the game?
Outside in the park lot.
I don't think they're that much far off. I really don't. And Sean Payton wanted Tony Romo to be the quarterback. If the Saints if they missed out on Drew Brees, he was going to make a trade for Romo. He's the one who found Romo because they went to the same college. He's the one who told Parcells to sign him.
You're losing me on the Romo.
I don't think it's that big.
do-
No, I would probably take BREES, but I don't think it's as far of a gap as you think. I really don't.
Tim, what do you think?
I don't know. This is like turning into the whole, is Eli Manning going to be a Hall of Famer?
Right.
There's two sides of the coin. Either you're going to really agree or you're really going to disagree. Listen, he's going to be a Hall of Famer. I don't care if he compiled stats. The stats are still there. I don't care that it's a throwing league now. It's a throwing league, right? So he's going to have more yards than quarterbacks that were obviously better than him at the position. It's just the way that the game is played now. That's why there's a lot of quarterbacks that are probably going to get in the Hall of Fame based on of stats alone, and I really don't think it should be just on stats alone. But that's not here nor there. I don't really have either way. I don't have a strong opinion on the topic, to tell you the truth.
Well, one guy who's going into elite level quarterback status is Patrick Mahomes, and obviously they won against the Cleveland Browns, but he did not finish the game. And if you saw the injury, it was pretty scary. I mean, some people are saying that he looked like he was basically choked out. He had trouble getting up to his feet afterwards, whether it be concussion, whether it be choked out, whatever the case may be. He did not look good. And truth be told, the dumbest comment of the day goes to Colin Coward. I'm sorry. I don't know if you guys heard this. Sir definitely did.
Yeah.
Got to be one of the dumbest things I've ever heard somebody say. But he basically, Tim, I don't know if you saw it, but basically what he said was, if he's the NFL, he's postponing the game until Patrick Mahomes is healthy, and then they're going to play.
Yeah, that's almost as stupid as the guy who said that Lamar Jackson was a pocket passer. I don't know. Both of those things are one.
We were watching that together, and I mentioned that.
Oh, fuck.
Chris Collinsworth. So there's no way that he's not playing in this game. I mean, there's just no way he's not playing in the game. Whether whatever the case may be, I think unless the saying he'll show up with bullet wounds, he'll show up with whatever he needs to show up with. He's playing in the game. There was stories that he was trying to get himself back in that game, and Andy Reid obviously made the decision to not let him do that because of the fact that they had the lead and they ended up winning the game. But
Andy Reid had no say on whether or not he came back in the game. That's strictly the doctors or whoever is in charge of.
I know what you're saying, but it's hard for me to believe with the game on the line, if it's a tie game, if they're down 3, that they would not let him back in. I understand we all want to think that the NFL is, safety first and everything like that, but look what they made Michael Thomas go through with all the injuries that he had. And they basically came out and said, we can use you in this game. And he comes out and he plays. And this is why I don't care that a guy like Dak Prescott or anybody else that we've mentioned before, holds out for money. Hold out for as much money as possible in football, because it's not baseball. If you're terrible and you get cut in baseball, you get 100% of your money. In football, once the guaranteed money's taken out, goodbye. It doesn't, it doesn't matter. It's a cold-blooded business. So I don't give a shit. Anybody could hold out. It doesn't matter. They could be on my team. I'll have the same, do whatever you got to do to make as much money as possible. Because every single person on this show and that's listening and watching right now would do the exact same thing, make as much money as possible. Mm-hmm. But does anybody really believe that he's not playing in the game?
Until they rule him inactive, I'm under the impression he's playing.
Yeah. I'd be shocked.
Vegas thinks he's playing. There's no way. They don't.
Apparently, originally they didn't think so. They had to pick him, and then I guess a couple of hours later they went to 3-point favorites.
Well, that's because they released that he passed whatever protocol he had to today, but he's still not in the clear, right? So I have a hard time picking this game until he's definitely right. All right, so say he's out. What's the line? It's not a fucking pick 'em.
Probably Bills -3. It probably swings, right? I would think.
I would imagine if it's not Bills minus more than 3.
No, I think you still got to give him some respect. I think it's still
right.
Maybe I think still Bills -3 would be the call. without
Okay.
Mahomes.
It's Chad Henne. Sir, I know you have a bias to him. Anything is possible.
Yo, anything is possible, bro. You know what I'm saying?
No fucking way. If Chad Henne is the quarterback, Bills, I'm taking the Bills.
They still got Tyreek Hill, right? They still got Travis Kelce. They still got McCall Hardman. They still got some weapons. I mean,
I'll say if there's any team that could win with a backup quarterback, and we mentioned, I think I tweeted about this, Andy Reid knows how to play with backup quarterbacks. I know you mentioned Jeff Garcia, Nick, in like 06. He went there. And if not for a full start, I think Garcia completed a 4th and 16, and they got called back for a false start. They might win that game. And let's not forget, he showcased A.J. Feely, got a pick for him. He showcased Kevin Kolb, got picks from him. If there's any coach and any team who could do it with a backup quarterback, it's probably Andy Reid. Not saying
No, you're right. I agree. And to piggyback off your point, I don't want this to come out the wrong way because Patrick Mahomes is an elite level quarterback, probably the best in the game.
Yeah.
But if I think it's more like a Matt Castle, Tom Brady situation. Like you take Patrick Mahomes out in week 1, and I still think they're winning 10 games, 11 games because the team is good and Andy Reid knows what he's doing with quarterbacks. So it's not that I don't think he makes a big impact, but like, I don't know.
They win 10 regular season games.
Yeah, I'm not saying they win the Super Bowl with a backup. Only
They
one
did not beat the Buffalo Bills in this game with Patrick Mahomes on the bench. That's just it.
Right.
I don't know, dude.
It might have a hard time beating the Buffalo Bills with Patrick Mahomes behind center.
Right, but what Sir said, you got to at least give him some respect. Like, I don't think it's like if Chad Henne starts, I don't think it's all right. Let's throw money on the Bills. I'd still be cautious, man.
Did you see that? Forget about the last drive where he ran on 3rd and fucking country mile and was down a half yard short, and then Andy Reid with the biggest balls in the stadium goes for it on 4th and 1, and they get it. Forget about those 2 plays. He threw one of the worst interceptions I've seen in a long time. He fucking threw a punt.
Sir, well, that's not true, sir. You watch a lot of Jet games. You've seen worse.
You watch your goddamn mouth. All right? Don't think this.
Tim, who do you think's better? Tim, like, let's be honest. Who do you think's better, and by that much, is Nick Foles that much better than Chad Henne? And I mean, he led the Knicks Eagles to a fucking miracle run, you know.
It would take a miracle for Chad Henne
right
to come into this.
All
game.
he's got to win is 1, and Mahomes is back. It could happen,
brother. I will bet you we'll be betting merchandise soon. All right.
Tim and Sir are telegraphing their pick in that game, but you mentioned the Jets. Before we go through our Stone Cold lock on, we'll go through with the spread and everything, but where we think the money's at in the Super Bowl. Before we do that, Tim, your team has a new head coach.
Yes,
sir. Your team no longer has they actually. I love what they did at defensive coordinator. The replacement.
Yeah, they promoted the linebacker coach to DC.
Yeah, ex-Eagle. He was great. I liked it, and a Texan, I believe, too. But he, D'Amico Ryans. I couldn't think of his name for a second.
Yeah,
D'Amico Ryans is a solid player, man.
right?
I loved him for the Eagles. But no, and Tim, what do you think of your new head coach? He could definitely, as Craig Carton would say, could beat up everybody else's coach. So.
Yeah, they. So for what it's worth, as a Jets fan, and any of my other Jets fans that are here will back me on this. You could have hired any 4 of us to be the head coach, and we would think it was the greatest hire of all time because it literally couldn't get worse. At some points, I was thinking, just bring Bill O'Brien in. Fuck it. He's like the second worst coach that you could fucking bring in for us. But no, I mean, in all seriousness, Sir is definitely not happy that we stole his boy as a DC. He, the defense is looking bright for the Jets. I don't know. He said he was bringing Shanahan on as the OC or the quarterback coach.
Yeah, the quarterback coach, LaFleur. Yeah. He was bringing him along for the OC job, but man, they poached my whole staff, man. But Sorry, apparently Shanahan's good at producing coaches and assistants. So hopefully he's got another one up his sleeve.
One can hope. One can hope.
No, I'm glad. I mean, it sucks to see him leave, but I'm glad Saleh got a head coaching job though. Like watching him on the sideline every time the defense makes a big stop. The first you see Saleh jumping up, getting pumped up, like he ready to jump in there. Like you know what I'm saying? Like hopefully he'll have that team playing hard for him. You know what I'm saying?
I trust guys like Richard Sherman that come out and say that they have a great coach, and I wouldn't be surprised to see Richard Sherman jump on with the Jets as well when the time comes. I don't know. You got a great coach. I was hoping that the Eagles would go for him, but the Eagles are obviously the names that the Eagles are throwing around just prove what I said from the beginning. They're fucking tanking. They're not going to try. I mean, how can you want Todd Bowles as your head coach? What about Todd Bowles makes you think that he's going to be a competent head coach? I'm sorry. Just give me Deuce Staley. I'd rather see what he's got.
What about Kellen Moore? What about Kellen Moore? Would you take him?
I want Deuce Staley. If for my honest opinion, that's who I would want. I mean, I know the McDaniel stories and everything, and truth be told, he owes us because if it wasn't for him and his wish-washy ass, the Eagles, that's kind of a terrible way of saying it. His wish-washing, indecisive ass. The Eagles would still have their offensive coordinator, and maybe Carson Wentz wouldn't be so terrible. But nevertheless, I don't know. We'll see what happens. But, Tim, real fast, before we get into the Super Bowl picks, Deshaun Watson, are you giving up 3 first-round picks for Deshaun Watson?
Honestly, it all depends on what we can get back for Sam Darnold. If we can get back a third-round pick, maybe. I have no idea.
You should be able to get more than a third because I believe like the Chiefs are when they traded Alex Smith, did they get like at least a second for him?
Yeah,
you should be able to get at least a second, maybe a first. Who knows? But at least a second round for Sam Darnold.
I know what we should, right? But will we? And
yeah.
Who's gonna take them from us? I don't know. It'll be very interesting leading because I think that's gonna linger until the draft or at least closer to it. I don't see a deal being made anytime soon, as no matter how much they say it's going to happen before that.
If the Eagles can get a first-round pick for Sam Bradford, the Jets can get a first-round pick for Sam Darnold.
Damn, man, that brother been stealing money his whole career. I don't know.
There is no bigger crook in the NFL.
Wait, sir. Kirk Cousins is sneaking up on him, though.
I mean, Jesus, that's...
Kirk Cousins is sneaking up on him, stealing money. But Sam Bradford, he has a throne of the biggest thief in the NFL.
Does it make anyone else feel old when you hear these names of guys like that are now coaching? Like D'Amico Ryan. I feel like he played in the NFL a year ago. And, like, you look back and, like, he hasn't been active for 7 years. You're like, oh, my God. Like, it's a mindful. Like, Patrick Surtain, his son's coming out of college. So I was like, I feel like that guy was on the Dolphins a year ago. It was, like, 2007. Where the fuck did these years go, man? It's like
Frank Gore Jr.'s in college, man.
Right,
Frank Gore Jr. might be playing when Frank Gore Sr. still running.
Those, to me, are the biggest mind fucks when you see these kids come out of college and you're like, wow, his dad hasn't played in 14 years. And I remember picking him in fantasy, like, when I was in college. It really sucks. That's probably getting.
I think that's why I want Deuce Staley to be the coach, because he was the running back when I started my Eagles fandom, and the rest is history. So why don't we do this? We're going to do the picks against the spread. Do you guys want to do what we think the Super Bowl is going to be at the end of the show, or do you want to do it now?
I know what I want to do.
I know what you want to do too.
What do you mean?
I thought I brought a shot glass, but I guess I didn't.
Here we go.
Well, I have a little shot glass. It has an N or a Z.
Where's your board at behind you, Nick?
So I got a little Walking Dead thing going on, but I got the board right here. So you're going to have to just believe me when I tell you what I hit.
I don't trust them.
It's going to be tequila, one of the best tasting ones he's got.
My wife will keep me honest. She's already looking in the other room. She's like, All right, ready? Tell me when to
Let us know if he's a lie.
It's tequila. Fuck.
Fix.
No, it's tequila. It was. No, stop it.
Fix is in. Okay.
We're doing Cuervo. I don't know why I pulled out a shot glass. I'm doing a shooter. I'll just drink it from the bottle. So.
Michelle said you're lying on Twitch. She said you're a liar, liar, pants on fire.
Salud.
Sir, some good shit. Y'all put a hurt on us on that goddamn drinking stream y'all did.
That wasn't me, old boy. Not this time.
You had a lot to do with it, sir.
I don't know what you speak of, old boy.
So I don't know. Did you guys have a chance to look at? So you can bet the exact outcome of the Super Bowl.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
You guys take a look at that. You have an idea of what you would bet?
Not yet.
The team who's gonna win it.
Nick,
You could bet the exact outcome. So you could
Like-
bet which team will beat which team in the Super Bowl. Not points,
Right.
but you would bet like.
Money line.
In the beginning of the year, I posted on Facebook Chiefs over Bucks. So like I would go with that if I had to bet. I don't know the plus money though. I didn't look at it. That's not my picks though, or is it?
Could be.
Well, why don't we do this? Why don't we save the Super Bowl for the end, and we'll get right into the picks
Right.
against the spread. So I went 1-3 last week, so hopefully you didn't listen to me. So that would put me at 4-6 in the postseason, which with 3 games left means I got to go 1,000 if I'm gonna, once again, reclaim my seat as the reigning defense. I have no shot. Tim went 4-0 last week. I'm fucked.
It's over.
So we got Tampa Bay, Tom Brady's Tampa Bay Bucks, plus 3.5 and an over-under of 50.5 against the number 1 seed in Lambeau Field. It will be Aaron Rodgers and the Green Bay Packers. Sir, why don't we start with you? What do you got in this game?
I made this mistake last week. I'm not doing it again. I'm not betting against Tom Brady in the postseason, man. Give me the Bucks. I'm saying because, listen, Tom Brady's a different quarterback when it comes to the postseason play. Like regular season, he does his little thing, but postseason he has a team. He has a team gelling. They actually put the hurt on New Orleans. Like the defense stepped up. They were making play. Like Drew Brees looked, as we said, that was overrated quarterback. Drew Brees did not look good at all, and Brady was just hitting on all cylinders. So give me the Bucks, and I'm gonna take the over on this one.
The best ball thrown from the Saints was Jameis Winston's. I don't think anybody can argue that.
Well, three of us could have. I've seen some of you throw before. So 3 of us could have thrown that touchdown pass. There wasn't any. There was not a person within 20 yards of that dude. But that's.
It's true, but it was still a good ball. Drew Brees just doesn't have the arm anymore.
Yeah.
But there's no point in ragging on Drew Brees. He's going to the Hall of Fame. He had a great year. But Tim, what do you have in this game?
Well, God, I hate agreeing with Sir, but 3 of the games that we agreed with last week won. So I'm gonna go with Tampa again, and it's for a different reason, right? So I look at the Green Bay Packers, and somehow they let Jared Goff score 18 points against them. I'm not saying Tampa Bay is going to win the game. I think Tampa Bay can keep it within a field goal, right? So if it was less than 3, I'd probably go Green Bay. But you're giving me 3.5. I'm going to go Tom Brady, Tampa Bay Bucks. I'm going to go over 51 just based upon the fact that Green Bay gave up 18 points to Jared Goff. So for them to hit, Tampa Bay is going to put up more than 18, right? So 51 is going to be in play. So that's what I'll go with.
Not for nothing. Jared Goff didn't look half bad last week, though. Or saying he looked better last week than he did against Seattle.
He's fucking horrible.
I didn't say he was good. I just said he looked better he looked better last week than he did against the Bucks.
This broken baby hand, Jared Goff.
Man, that thumb, though.
He did play pretty good. He did.
He played with a broken freaking thumb, as Kurt Angle was saying.
It's not that hard to look better than trash. All you got to do is be shiny trash. With that.
No, he didn't look half bad, bro.
He looked good.
Scott, almost 3 months to the day, Tampa Bay obliterated Green Bay 38-10.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody so far is picking Tampa Bay. I haven't made my pick yet, but do you think, what do you think here?
I bet the Bucks that game, and I won some money on it. I never bet against Tom Brady. You can ask my wife. I love Tom Brady. I had a TB12 hat as a Cowboy fan. I always liked him. I think he's just a fucking man. I never count him out. I think that everybody criticized Green Bay this year for drafting the future quarterback, Jordan Love. They knew exactly what they were doing. They lit a fire under Aaron Rodgers' ass. And no one has been more motivated to win this fucking year. And let's be honest, this is his first home NFC championship game where he's the starting quarterback. I picked the Bucs to go to Super Bowl this year. I hate to be this guy. I think they are going to get crushed. I think this is going to be a fucking blowout. I just think I can't see Aaron Rodgers throwing 48-4, getting his first chance at Lambeau and throwing up a dud. I could see this being a 38-14 game. I love the Packers in this game in a rout. I think you're going to, at halftime, be like, shit, let's get to the next game. And I guess 38-14 I'm going with, so that's 50-52. I guess I'll go with the over. I just love Aaron Rodgers in this game, man.
I agree to the same point. I'm going the Bucs, but only because it's a 3.5. I think the game kind of falls in line with the 3. If it was 2.5, I'm going Green Bay. 3.5, I'm taking the Bucs. I just think that's the smart play. That's me. I don't know though.
You can't catch me now, pal.
That's true too. Well, I'm the season-long champ, and that's what.
You don't think there's anything to
No.
having his first home game though?
Scott, hold on. Who the fuck cares about the regular season? It's all about the playoffs, baby.
Right.
Super Bowl or
Playoffs? We talking about playoffs?
playoffs.
Right. So what's the point? Rodgers has looked great.
No, he's making fun of me. He's making fun of me.
No, but you guys don't think this is his first home play. You know what I mean? I
don't want to bury the lead, but I think Green Bay's going to the Super Bowl. It's
Gotcha.
the points. It's the points thing. I'm taking 3.5. They can lose by a field goal and I win.
Nick, here you go. There's on Twitch, just to interrupt. There's a donkey dollar bet. I believe that someone could do the record. Other Tim believes that Green Bay is going to win by 10+ points.
I agree with him.
That's who bully is. It's Tim.
OT.
I should have known the sleeveless
Wait, hold
referee
on.
would have
So
been
you're telling me
bullied.
I get Tampa plus 10 for a donkey dollar? Bet good.
There you go, OT. You got to bet good.
Bet good.
Good luck getting
Nice.
that dollar from Sir. You got to have to post that on our Twitch page.
Wait, hold up. Excuse me, sir. I believe I want to bet off you the Rams plus 10 against Seattle. Thank you very much.
Who the fuck are you talking to?
You, Mo.
Oh, we all make dumb fucking comments, all right? Whatever.
We'll move on to the final game. It's Buffalo. They're plus 3. Over under at 53.5 against the reigning, defending Super Bowl champions. I don't remember who they beat, but it was a great game last year. The Kansas City Chiefs.
Goddamn refs, motherfucker.
Tim and Sarah kind of already told you who they're going to pick, but we'll let them talk. But Scott, we'll start with you. What do you got in this game?
I picked the Chiefs earlier in the year to repeat. I think it was Frank Clark doesn't jump off sides. They're going to their 3rd straight Super Bowl. I think these things happen in spurts where Andy Reid can't win a big one, and then these guys they win their first, and all of a sudden, all hell breaks loose. And I really think the Chiefs are a team that can win 4 out of 5. And I am not betting against them in this game. If Mahomes plays and they think he is, and it's only a field goal, I just don't understand that in Kansas City, defending champs, it's almost like a lack of respect. I think Mahomes, up until I think Rodgers was the best quarterback we ever watched. I think Mahomes, if he stays healthy, will be the greatest quarterback of all time. So I just can't bet against them. And that's where we're at with Mahomes playing. So I love the Chiefs in this game. I do think it'll be a little closer. I'll go 27-19, which will be the under. I think it'll be a little closer than the first game just because I got to, like, Sir's been riding with Josh Allen. So I got to throw some respect on the Bills because I have been very critical of them. So, but Chiefs -3.
Sir, what do you got?
I actually really like the over in this game. Both these teams can score, and their defenses for both teams aren't the best. So I actually prefer the over bet in this game. But as I said, I've been rolling with the Bills all season. I can't hop off them. I got to keep it rolling. Give me the Bills. You know what I'm saying? Like, I wouldn't be surprised if KC, puts the pedal to him, but I got to roll with Josh Allen and them boys. Like,
All right. Tim?
God, I hate agreeing with the Sir. But I'm taking Buffalo and the under. And it's just today is just the uncertainty of Patrick Mahomes. You say 100% chance he's playing. Until they say he's definitely playing, I don't know. Because if he doesn't play, they're not winning. And that's just my personal opinion. It's the Mahomes uncertainty. That's all I got. Right now, today, I'm taking Buffalo. I'm taking the under. I'm thinking he's not playing because I know he wanted to go back into the game. That's fine and dandy. Until the doctors say yes, hopefully one of the doctors is a Buffalo Bills fan. That's all I got to say. It'll be the biggest controversy to hit fucking sports. I'm going Buffalo. I'm taking the under. Tomorrow when they say he's definitely playing, tune into our Twitter. I'll post an update of my adjusted pick.
Yeah, we're gonna tie at the very least, Tim, in this week because I'm taking Buffalo. It could just be wishful thinking. I just like seeing something new, something different. I don't know if I want to see Tom Brady in another fucking Super Bowl, even though it's with a different team. And I don't want to see Kansas City repeat. I love Andy Reid. I love Patrick Mahomes. Patrick Mahomes is going to have plenty. I just think Buffalo's the hot team, man. I'm just like I was rooting for Andy Reid, an ex-Eagle. I want to see Sean McDermott do the same thing. I'm loyal to the ex-Eagles. I'm taking Buffalo +3, and I agree with Tim, the under, although I'd never bet it because I hate rooting for no points. But I think the under's in play here, and I do think Buffalo +3 is the play. So,
how mad would you be as a Bills fan if you escape Brady finally and you have to face him in the fucking Super Bowl and he beats you again? Like, can you imagine? All right, he's finally out of the division. Who are you facing in the Super Bowl? Tom Brady, and he beats you.
I think that's the narrative, and I'll tell you right now because I already looked it up. The least odds, or the worst odds at +900 is Tampa Bay and Tom Brady beating the Bills in the Super Bowl. That is the worst odds right now at +900. And honestly, that's the narrative. Like, if there was ever a narrative, that's the narrative. I mean, you could go like Super Bowl rematch between Kansas City and Green Bay. There's a bunch of narratives. But that would be a big one.
I could say, can you remember, maybe you guys are different than me, but this might be the first time all four teams, do you really hate any of them? Like, I don't. Like, I find myself, like, I'm okay if any of the four win them. I don't mind them all.
The history,
I don't know. It's just me.
I can't root for the Packers, bro. Can't do it. There's too much history with the Niners and Packers. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Right. All right. Yeah, that makes sense.
So Nick, I'll cut in front of everyone, and I'll tell you what. If I had to choose what I wanted as a Super Bowl, I want Green Bay and I want Kansas City. I want the two best quarterbacks in our era, physically gifted quarterback, Aaron Rodgers, Patrick Mahomes, against each other on the biggest stage in football. It could be a passing of the torch. Mahomes wins the second straight, outperforms Rodgers. Rodgers is, quote unquote, on the decline, even though he was the MVP this past season. Don't know how many more seasons he has left in him. But if I'm a fan of football, I can't see a better game than them two against each other. Maybe it's just me. I don't know.
I don't think I think we win no matter what, honestly.
Yeah.
as I said, no matter the matchup, we're going to have a good game on.
Yeah, it's going to be fire. It's going to be a really good game.
Right. Who knows, though? It'll be Rodgers and Mahomes, and it'll be like a 12-7 game. You know that shit happens all the time. Stuff like that happens all the time.
And Brady could make history as the first team to host a home playoff, home Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true too. So I'll run them through you real quick. So you got the Chiefs to beat the Packers at plus 325. You like that?
Yes.
Anybody?
I love that. Yeah.
Packers to beat the Chiefs at plus 450. You got the Bills to beat the Packers at plus 525. You got the Chiefs to beat the Bucks at plus 575. You got the Packers to beat the Bills at plus 575. Honestly, if I had to make an honest bet, that's probably the bet I'm going for. Packers to beat the Bills plus 575. Buccaneers to beat the Chiefs plus 825. Bills to beat the Bucks plus 900. And Buccaneers to beat the Bills plus 900. So honestly, if you honestly think that it's going to be the Bills and the Bucks, you got a 50-50 shot at plus 900 because it's plus 900 for either outcome. So I don't know. If you like that narrative, the escape from the AFC, no more Brady, and now you got to face him in the Super Bowl.
I do like how the NFC has all like the old heads, and the AFC has the young guns. Like,
yeah, that's different. It was the other way around, but
it's gonna be one old head versus one young head, no matter which way you look at it.
Well, as I pull up my DFS lineup, I guess I'll
have to put in.
No, I put it in. You didn't see it. I won.
You didn't. I won for once.
You won because we didn't put a lineup in.
Agree to disagree. I was at the top of the leaderboard. It doesn't matter who was there.
I'll choose to that. I'm going quarterback Josh Allen at 6,900. For this, there's no rhyme or reason. Like, I'm just picking. I'd rather have Josh Allen at the price that he's at than Patrick Mahomes at the price that he's at. There's really no – I mean, how can you argue with any of the four quarterbacks? Anyway, I'm going Leonard Fournette against Green Bay. Green Bay still sucks against the run. We've seen numerous running backs throughout the playoffs gash them for big plays. Old man Lenny has been playing pretty well. I'm taking him. I'm taking Williams at 4,800 for Kansas City, who's kind of been on a hot streak. I think even if Clyde Edwards-Helaire comes back, I think he's going to get, some sort of target share snaps at 4,800. I think he's going to see the field. For wide receiver, I'm going Stephon Diggs at 7,000. I'm going Tyreek Hill at 72. And I'm going Scotty Miller at 3,400. If Antonio Brown doesn't play, he avoided a serious injury, a very serious injury. But if he is to not play, Scotty Miller seems to ball out when he's, in the starting lineup. So I'll take Scotty Miller. I'm taking the best tight end available, Travis Kelce, $8,000. Buffalo's not great against the tight end. I'm taking the best one in football, earmuffs, sir. Flex, I'm taking John Brown.
You're talking. Why spreading lies on the air, sir? Come on now. Second best. I'll give you second best tight end. You know what I'm saying? He's the second best.
I'm going John Brown at flex. He came back and played great last week. 11 targets. I'm taking the guy getting 11 targets. Even if you really truly think Kansas City's going to win, they're going to be throwing the ball a lot. Devin Singletary didn't do shit. This team throws the ball.
Yeah.
So give me as many pass catchers as possible. And to round it out, although I think I could have afforded all four defenses, I'm taking the one that had a great game against Green Bay already once this year. I'm taking the Tampa Bay Buccaneers at 2,700. That's my lineup. Subject to change.
Hold on. All right. So, sir, I don't know if this is good for you or bad for me. Our lineup is pretty much the same, except I've switched out Scotty Miller for Robert Tonyan.
Okay.
I don't pretty much. Yeah, I've said I don't know. I don't know who's it's bad for, but
exactly the same.
Yeah, I'm pretty Josh Allen at quarterback, Fournette and Williams at the running back, Diggs, John Brown, Tyreek at receiver, Kelce at tight end, Tonyan at flex, Bucks at defense.
Pretty much the same.
Pretty much the same. As you read
there's only four teams.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's true, but I'm just reading what? This is reading my whole lineup.
I did. I don't know if you did this, sir, but I did purposely dominate my lineup with Bills and Kansas City due to the higher over-under.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Tim, what do you got?
Nick, hey, just for fun, let's put a doggy dollars. Scotty Miller versus Tonyan.
All right, deal. I'll do that. Well, but if Antonio Brown doesn't play, I'll do $1.
Sir, I don't care about that, sir. Doggy dollars.
I'll do $1.
Sir.
All right, so
let's get some different options here. So I do have some of the same as you guys. So I have Josh Allen at quarterback. I went with Ronald Jones at running back at 4,600. Depending on, I know he came up a little gimpy towards the end of the game. So as the week gets closer to game time, we'll check on whether he's going to play or not. But at 4,600, it's a very cheap option. Another cheap option at running back, I went with Devin Singletary in Buffalo at 4,500. He's the only back they got back there. Just volume will get him above his cost. I went Devontae Adams at 8,000. I don't care who they're playing. The guy's going to score a touchdown. 12 out of 13 games in a row, he scored a touchdown. So you can mark him up for that. I got to pair with Josh Allen. I got Diggs and John Brown at the wide receiver spot. Kelsey at the tight end. And my flex, I have MVS. I just went with another Aaron Rodgers passing guy, 3,900, super cheap option. All he has to do is catch one of the bombs. Somebody's going to catch a bomb on that team in this game. I just don't know which receiver it is. 39 fit my team, so I went with him. And defense, I went with the hot defense who came off shutting down the Ravens offense, and that's the Buffalo Bills at 2,800.
Scotty.
Oh man, I am completely different than you guys. So since I have the Packers,
good.
You did pick players that are playing this weekend,
right? Yeah, I got
Dak Prescott at quarterback.
At 3,200, I took Ben DiNucci.
I got Dorsey Levens at running back for the Packers. Edgar Bennett, Sterling Sharp. For defense, I have the Darren Sharper and led Packer. All right.
Coach Adam Gase. What?
Yeah. So I think Jim Kelly for quarterback. So I think that the Packers are going to put up 38 points. I think Rodgers is throwing 4 touchdowns. So I loaded up on him. I went Rodgers 6,500. Running back, I went Fournette 5,300 just because I do think that he will run pretty decently. I just think the game will get away. That's the problem. But he will score early touchdown, maybe 1 or 2. Jamal Williams, I went with 4,400, maybe a screen pass or something. I went heavy on receivers with Adams 8,000, Diggs 7,000, and Scantling 3,900. I think Adams and Scantling will go 2 and 2. That's kind of how I'm looking at it. Kelsey 8,000. He's actually the only chief I have. Packers defense 3,600, and flex I went with Connor Brate for 3,000. Says I can see Brady dumping some stuff off. And plus, I ran out of money.
It happens.
Money is definitely key.
Yeah.
Tim, do you want to do the drawing for the big time?
Yeah. We can do that right now. So if you're still watching, I don't care if you left or not. I'm still rolling it. If you were here and I know your name, I threw you in. Thanks, Danny, for finally following 29 minutes ago. You son of a bitch. As you can see, if you're following us on Twitch, I'm bringing up the fancy roller. There was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of you who came on and said something. And even if you didn't say something, I saw you lurking in the channel if I knew who you were and you followed.
Is it too late to say something?
Nick, you said something early on. Unfortunately, you're not allowed to enter. I'm going to in right now.
Other Tim.
Come on, Michelle.
Oh boy, this is gonna cause controversy.
Fix.
We have a winner. I won't spoil it because we're on a little bit of a delay, but
I thought it stopped on Sharice and it didn't. And now it's spinning some more.
You got it.
yeah. Sorry, we got a little bit delay on our Christy. You have won. $5 free bet. Please let me know.
Get with Danny and find out who he wants to bet on, and then make the.
No. See, here's the thing. If you follow our friends group, Danny would always have to ask Christy what to bet on because he went, I think, 0-72 in our weekly bets this year.
Wow.
I won't say anything because that was me last year.
Yes, it was. So, Nick, as shop itch, you should
See, the thing about New Year's is
Christy, congrats. Thanks for following and watching, and hope you are the first winner of my money because I think we're 0-4 at this point, but that's all right. We're 0-3.
Christy, I would pick one player from every team that's going to score a touchdown that you think, and I would do $25 on those 4 players to score. That's what
I'll put it to you this way. Loman picked 3 players, and it was 25 to win 4, basically $250 just about. So if you pick 4, it'll be up in the 700-800s. So.
I hope Danny throws a curveball and makes her bet on cricket, and she takes Sri Lanka minus 93.5 runs versus like Pakistan. Like,
and if draft
or Korean baseball at the Dowsing Bears to be.
That would be a terrible bet. So, guys, as we wrap up, and we'll go through what we think our Super Bowl will be. We wanted to do something different for next week, so I will put it up on the Twitter. We're going to run a poll of what we're going to talk about next week, and depending on what we talk about, we might have a different guest. We're definitely going to have a guest next week, but depending on what wins, that will determine what guest we have on. So these are the 5 topics. I'll put them up on Twitter, as I said, and you guys can vote, and next week's show will be kind of dedicated entirely to one of these 5 things. So the first one is Sports Betting 101. So we'll break down sports betting for dummies, basically. Everything you need to know to be able to log on, go on, and make some sports bets of your own. No question is too dumb when it comes to that. We'll answer any questions you guys have. We'll do whatever we have to do. The second topic is going to be fantasy football's biggest values and busts from the 2020 season. So who we hit big with, who we didn't hit big with, what we learned, all of that kind of stuff. Third one's kind of interesting. It's how to bet the Royal Rumble. And obviously, if that wins, we'll have Miguel on to...
Never mind. Nope. He will not share in the podcast. He will not help us grow. We'll have Moravik on again.
I got the fireball ready. Topic number 4 is going to be just like Sports Betting 101 is going to be DFS 101. So strategies in DFS, how DFS works. There's a science behind it. It's not just picking the best players every single week. There's a lot of strategy. I know a few people that have won thousands and thousands of dollars on DFS, so I'd reach out to them if we decided to do that show, if that hit, and kind of educate everybody, and us too, because I think there's a lot to learn when it comes to DFS. And the last topic would be the 2021 Fantasy Top 12 in PPR, so where we think the top 12 are for the 2021 season. So we'll put these topics on for you guys to vote, and whatever wins, we'll talk about. I mean, I would think during the dead period, and by dead period, I mean basketball and hockey, that we will...
Wait a minute. Take it easy, all right?
That we will probably...
Why are we not betting?
Sure really wants to talk about hockey, goddammit.
Yo, can we bet the Pro Bowl? What's up?
I think we'll be talking about all 5 at one point or another, but we'll be doing all 5 shows. But we'll do that for next week. So... and then obviously we will wrap up the following week with a Super Bowl show, all about the Super Bowl. And I think at that point we probably hit, I don't know what props would be open, but we'll hit any props that we see in, on the Super Bowl itself, maybe do a live show.
Tails never.
Leading into the Super Bowl. So we'll have some fun there. So guys, the time is now. I think I've already said mine multiple times. Super Bowl. I'm going the Packers. And I'm going the Bills. Sir, what do you got?
I'm going to go Bills, Bucks.
Tim.
Fuck you, sir. Stole my pick.
Bills, Bucks.
Yeah, Bills, Bucks. So you know what games? You know what's not happening.
Bet heavy on the Packers and
Scott, you're going Super Bowl 1?
Yeah, absolutely. I'll be rooting hard for the Packers because my father's a Packer fan. But I hope he doesn't watch this. I don't think they win. I think the Chiefs repeat, and I think I wouldn't be shocked if they win next year either. I mean, I think we're at that point with this team. It sucks, but I'll be rooting for the Packers, though. I will.
The Chiefs will be good until they got to pay Mahomes $40 million, and then it's a wrap.
Didn't he already accept the deal?
Yeah, but it hasn't kicked in yet.
He's.
When
They're
it does, like,
they're so good. Like,
No, they are good.
So
But that
It's
$40
like,
million hasn't kicked in. Once you have to pay a quarterback top
I
dollar,
know.
you can't pay everybody else.
I know. It happened with the Seahawks, and the Ravens, they lost the defense. I'm with it, but, like, just, I hate to harp on this, but, like, have you guys ever watched a team that, like, 3rd and 24 is like 3rd and 10 to them? It's just, and Nick, like, we're in the NFC East, and even if we got in the play, we're so far away from, like, if we got in, it's like, oh my God, we have to play the Chiefs in the Super Bowl. We're gonna get fucking crushed. At least the Packers, like, I think they can compete with them. I think the Bucs can too, but they're so good, man. It's tough. It's tough.
it's funny you mentioned how 3rd and 24 feels like 3rd and 10. I feel like that's every team facing the Eagles defense.
4th and 26. Freddie Mitchell was short. Merrill Reese was right. You rewatched that
He
play?
did say that. I
Did
did. The next day.
He was short. It's crazy.
Yeah, he was short. He was right on the 50.
Yep.
All right, guys. Well, thanks for tuning in. Thanks for the first live show. More to come on this. And thanks for tuning in to Sharp Bets and Fantasy Sets.
Be good, everyone.